Thank you. Good morning. Please down. Secretary Junabaya, Secretary Marojas, Secretary Edwin Lacerda, Mr. Joey Turano, Mr. Greg Jason, Mr. Anthony Weymouth, Mr. Mark Plater, Attorney Junjun Davide, officers and employees of Austal Philippines, honored guests, mga minamahal ko pong kababayan, mayong buntag. Kaniyang tanan. Buti ho nangiti na kayo. Kanina pagpasok, bakit kaya napakaseryoso nung mga ekspresyon ng mga kababayan natin dito? Para naghihintay tayo ng announcement na sakuna. Opening ho to, kailangan masaya tayo. Di ba? So, ngayon na nangiti na kayo, medyo okay na ako. Siguro talagang ganyan lang. No? Ganitong klaseng weather na napapag-isip tayo. Wala naman ho yatang bagyong nagbabanta sa atin ngayon. Anyway, the people at Austal Philippines picked a very good time to hold the opening of this shipyard. All of you here must know by now, you are not the only people in Cebu who are ready to celebrate. At this very moment, hundreds of thousands of Filipinos are celebrating one of our country's most anticipated fiestas, the Sinulog Festival, the centuries-old devotion to the Santo Niño. So this week, I am certain that those of you who have worked tirelessly to prepare this event will not run out of places to celebrate or of opportunities to paint your faces while shouting, Pit Señor. Dahan-dahan lang ho sa celebration, baka masobrahan na konti. I have always believed that our fiestas here in the Philippines tend to display the very best of our people. Their hospitality, their positive outlook, and the very culture that has nurtured their friendliness and creativity. These fiestas only emphasize what I've always said. Our people are still our greatest asset. The excellence of the Filipino workers, well chronicled in the BPO sector, in the hospitality sector, and in several other sectors. But perhaps what will be highlighted more in the coming months and years is that our workforce is also world-class when it comes to building ships. Might I add, this isn't a skill we recently developed. This stretches back to more than 4 centuries ago, during the galleon trade, I am told, when we were still a colony of Spain. Back then, in the mid-1500s, our people were already building mighty trading ships that regularly crossed the Pacific going to and from Acapulco. This is why I was so pleased during my trip to Australia when I was reminded by the same people who welcomed me to this event that from being builders of the great ships of the past, the Philippines has grown into the 4th largest shipbuilding country in the world. In 2011, our ship exports reached $638 million, a 57.9% increase from the previous year. And as of this moment, around 45,000 Filipinos make their livelihoods working for shipbuilding companies. Today, we have the honor of formally welcoming to our country yet another company that will accelerate the growth of this sector, Austal Philippines. At the moment, you may still be a growing company in our country, but I cannot overstate the impact of your arrival in the long run. You have already finished construction of 1 ship for export, and I hear that 4 more ships will be finished before the end of the year, which will bring in a total of $70 million and give jobs to nearly 300 Filipinos, perhaps even more than that. On top of that, you have invested an additional $4.8 million to improve the Balamban shipyard, which I take as a sign of intent, that you are here for the long haul and that perhaps one day you will consider further expanding your operations here and hiring even more of our people. But as much as I am here to congratulate you on your opening, I would also like to tell you that our administration will continue supporting your industry to make it easier for companies like you to build ships here. As of the end of 2012, our Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or TESDA, has certified around 95,000 welders in its registry, many of whom may be applying for the additional jobs you might bring here. And I assure you, we will continue to make certain that you will have access to a highly skilled Filipino workforce. Our government will not betray your trust, and neither will our people. You saw the skill and natural talent of the Filipino worker. More than that, you bet on their abilities, and I can say with utmost certainty, you made the right choice. If you treat them right, Filipinos will not only perform their duties well, they will take it upon themselves to propel your company to even greater heights. These past few years, we can truly say that the world has increasingly realized what Filipinos are capable of. Whether they are shipbuilders or seafarers, BPO workers or medical professionals, athletes or musicians. Indeed, one can say the Filipino has finally arrived on the world stage. And now that we are here, I assure all our countrymen and all those who have wagered their success on our country, we will continue improving. We are not content with being the fourth, the third, or second best at anything. On the straight path, we aspire to excellence, to bettering ourselves, and we will definitely get there. So to Austal Philippines and to all those considering expanding their operations or setting up shop here, I tell you, this is only the beginning, and in the coming years, the Filipino worker and the Philippines will only get better. Again, our sincerest congratulations. You know, I can't help but imagining that perhaps in a year or two, or most probably 3 years, certain people might come up to me and tell me, "Sir, we need a more efficient harbor mastering program in Balamban shipyard. We cannot bring out our products because there are too many of them being constructed and finished at the same time." That will become a reality. That reality rests in your hands. Again, congratulations to one and all. Thank you, and Pit Senor.